Hello. Hi, it's us again. We're back. We're back, baby. It's been less than 24 hours since the last time we graced your screens. Welcome to the between, or to somewhere in the between, I should say. The overlay is cutting it off, but I will. He's here. He's being sweet at the moment. We'll see how long it lasts.
Not very long.
Not very long, probably. But he's cute. He's here. I'll try to keep it high enough that people can at least kind of see him for now. But hi, hello, hey! If you've not caught us before, we're live from the apocalypse. We're not-for-profit TTRPG studio that makes actual play content like streams and podcasts, things like that, in order to raise money for nonprofits, aid organizations, and other worthy causes, like this here one tonight, where we're raising money for a very good friend of ours. We're raising money for some good friends of ours to stay housed, which is a very important and worthy cause. I hope you'll all agree. So yeah, we're doing a mutual aid stream tonight because I don't know why I said one word of that sentence and then felt a compulsion to sip tea, which is great. Because the donation is through Ko-fi, we don't have alerts or anything like that are going to pop when you donate, but we will still be able to check the totals periodically. Last time I looked, it was at 70%, and that's really great. And I hope we can get at least close to the rest of the way, if not to the rest of the way. We'll see. There are still a few days left. But if you like what you see, we just ask that instead of subscribing or giving us bits or doing normal twitch.tv things, instead take whatever money you have. Is everything okay? Yeah, can y'all hear me? No?
You were good on the stream.
You were
okay.
Yeah.
There's that, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Video Ninja. Let me try
to. Sorry, that's my cat.
No, you're good. Try to move it over there. Hopefully it'll last. Anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, if you can give anything, please, it would make a huge difference in the lives of some very good friends of ours. We would super appreciate it, and I know that they would as well. So you can hit !donate in the chat. The bot will post the link. You can donate. An alert will not pop or anything, like I said, but still a very good thing to do, and we would love you forever for it. All that being said, what else we got? We have hidden the subscribe button. Actually, we haven't tonight because I had to turn off the cherry thing. So that's there, but maybe don't do it. If you have a Prime sub included in your Amazon Prime subscription, we can't turn it off. We can't stop you from doing it. You got to put it somewhere. Why not put it in us? You know the bit. Just be aware that if you do so, beloved Dimension 20 Dungeon Master Brendan Lee Mulligan will murder a dog. He will kill a dog for every month you've been subscribed to this channel. So maybe think about it. Maybe don't do that. Maybe just it's to Lionheart Mutual Aid Fund. I always forget when people haven't been on the channel before.
I 2 years ago when I met you was the only time I've ever been on this channel.
I don't think we did that bit at that
point.
This is a new bit.
It was a questionable choice on our part, but we've committed to it. There's just a GIF that plays. It's fine.
Yeah. No, I think the problem is that you said that instead of putting it in there, you said put it in us.
Yeah, that part.
Oh, that bit.
Yeah, I
That
never say that. I never say that.
Let's one, porque no los dos, both.
Sure.
Cass, this is how I know you're always streaming on nights when I'm running games. Because I always say put it in us.
That's fair.
Doesn't
get better anytime you say it.
Anyway, that's the stuff and the things for the most part. If you're going to subscribe, I guess use a Prime sub, but probably don't subscribe. Just give money to the Lionheart Mutual Aid Fund if you can. !donate in the chat. The bot will post it periodically throughout the night. But tonight, for this cause, we are going to play The Between, which is a very fun system that I've never run before. So we're going to muddle our way through this together. It should be a good time. But before we get into that, everybody can go around and introduce who and what they are playing tonight. And if we want to just go by the order on the screen, which which is actually not alphabetical order for once. But yeah, if we want to go across the top row, starting with you, Cass.
Hello, I'm Cass. And I totally forgot what we were supposed to be doing. My pronouns are she, they. Tonight I am playing the vessel, Lord Gordon Brighton. And he uses pronouns he, him. Yeah. The Vice's choices for these characters were wild.
Oh yeah.
Just tell us real quick what your vice was.
Tell the vice.
My vice, after Will insisted to me over and over and over again that this was the monster hunting game and that I could not do what I wanted to do. My vice is sex with dark entities.
I didn't say could not. I just made it clear that this was a monster hunting game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
what?
Hi, it's me, the monster.
I was going to
say. Oh, I got you, boo.
What happens between you and the monster before you hunt it is none of my business. Knox, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My cat has chosen the perfect time. Oh my god. Hi. You are a problem. Speaking of problems, hi, my name is Knox. My pronouns are she, her, hers. Today I'll be playing Evangeline, or as I like to call her, Eve. If she is the orphan, if she is the monster, is she a dark entity? Who knows? And my vice is helping animals. And I'm at the brothel. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And Chrissy.
Hi, I'm Chrissy in color, and tonight I am playing Rosalind Bell, the Undeniable, and her vice is extravagant spending.
Julia.
Hi, I'm Julia. I'm the local Delaware cryptid. Tonight, she, they pronouns. Tonight, I am playing the widowed Lady of Sylvia Hughes Nee Gray. She's the Explorer playbook, and her vice is casinos. She do be gambling.
Amazing.
Thank you.
And then that's me. Hello. Hi. I'm Q, resident cowboy maker. And you know what time it is. I'm he, him. Tonight I'll be playing the gunsmith, Mr. Smith, if you're nasty, who's the American playbook. His vice is prostitutes. It felt fitting.
And hello, hi. My name is Will. I'm your storyteller. I'll be playing everybody else, but also, I guess, kind of the American playbook in a weird way. Also, I don't know. You can guess what my vice is in the chat. Oh boy, the stream did not like that.
It did not.
Did not like that. We're back. It looks like everybody blipped for a second, but I think we're good.
We're real cursed tonight. I think it's the nature of this game.
It's this.
It's the cat.
This little motherfucker
it's like,
right here.
When you have many words you can say in anything.
He has never done anything wrong in his life.
Go put his shows on and stop blaming him.
It's just his energy. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna put you down, you little guy. You little guy. Please chill out. Thank you. We're gonna go ahead and get started here with our game. And the Between, for anyone who is unfamiliar, is a game set in Victorian London, which means that we're going to be doing things by gaslight. There are going to be dark, creepy streets. There will be accents, at least on my part. And yeah, I guess the logical place to start, I think, would be, is it called the Bell House, Chrissy?
It is called the Bell House.
It is called the Bell House. Okay. So technically just a little bit of above the table. We are beginning with the day phase. Because there is a dawn phase, but the dawn phase follows the night phase. And since we're starting a new mystery, we're going to begin in the day phase, which is pretty free form. It's kind of the closest to a regular tabletop TTRPG that you might be used to. We're just gonna have a bunch of scenes that we're gonna play through, and then eventually we'll move into the night phase, which is when things will get interesting. But for now, we'll begin at the Bell House. And just to clarify for myself and for our audience, who actually lives at the Bell House? Is it just Eve and Rosalind?
Well, I think the girls that work for me also
Sure, yes.
have a residence there if they so choose. There's room.
Of our players here, I meant.
Oh yes, of the players here, I think it's just the two of us. Yes.
Cool. And you all have an affiliation to an organization called Hargrave House as well, which is kind of a boarding house, but you don't necessarily have to live there. It's more just a secret society, a place for all of you broken people to gather and talk amongst yourselves, and also confront the dark things that hide in the shadows. Not you, of course. You're the good dark things that hide in the shadows. Rosalind, it's a normal, average night at the Bell House. Business has been a little bit slow, but it's still early for your particular line of work.
Oh no.
It begins.
We are two.
Ugh, God, I hate this. I don't know why this keeps happening. All right, let me try to refresh.
Such a perfect encapsulation.
Okay.
Oh.
That's back.
It's weird that the
Okay.
stream is back and he's not.
Yeah, there he is.
I see him on the stream, but there we go.
Oh, stream fully went down. Now it's back. Yeah.
I might have figured it out.
Okay.
I might have figured it out. For some reason, I was on the worst network,
Oh.
which I did not
that'll
set
do
it to, but at some point it decided to connect to that one. So maybe we'll be in better shape now.
That's what happens sometimes with me, and every once in a while I'm like, let me just check which router I'm on.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's smart. I wasn't on the 5G. Now I'm on the 5G. So hopefully that is better. Time will tell. Time will tell. So, how's it going? It's going great. Can't you tell? It's going flawlessly. Like I said, like I was saying, Rosalind, it's been a quiet night here at the Bell House. Your clientele has been a little bit slow, but the night is still young. Business will surely pick up. And occasionally at this establishment that you run, people come by for all kinds of reasons, obviously to indulge in some of their darker desires, but also sometimes just to socialize, sometimes just to enjoy a drink. especially amongst people of a similar profession, people who have to protect the nature of their work or operate under the radar just a tiny bit. And so I'll ask you, where would Rosalind be? And I will also put this out there that during the day phase, y'all are welcome to suggest any scenes that you would like to have happen. Any scenes between you, any scenes between NPCs, anything that you would like to do, you are welcome to put those forth. This is very collaborative.
I think Rosalind would be in her room at her vanity, putting on her face. She doesn't really need a lot of makeup, though. That, for whatever reason, her skin looks like porcelain without it. So she's adding a little rouge and, getting a little dolled up. And then in front of her is just a plate of fruit, and occasionally she'll pick a grape off of it. And almost everything she does seems fluid and kind of musical, and just she's someone you can't take your eyes off of.
I certainly agree with that. And I think as you finish looking at yourself in the mirror, as you start descending the stairs, I'm going to quickly jump to Eve, because I know that Eve works here at the house, and I wonder, what is the nature of that work?
That would have been a great thing to establish. I think we said I'm like an apprentice. I'm like Rosalind's apprentice. Yeah. We said like sister vibes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Eve's doing her best.
No, that makes total sense. And so, yeah, I think you're kind of, while Rosalind is, preparing for the night, Eve, as you are going about some of your responsibilities and your duties, you hear the bell above the door of Bell House, fittingly enough, ring with somebody who has arrived, who has walked in.
Eve's gonna turn over and greet them, and hello, welcome to the Bell House. How may I help you?
I think you probably recognize the person who steps in, but I don't know that you would know them by name. I think you've maybe seen them speaking with Rosalind before. I think you know that they're friends. I'm not sure that you have made their acquaintance. But there's a woman who has walked in, and she's dressed nicely enough, but certainly not so that she would look out of place in the lower end of the city here. She her clothing looks a little out of sorts. Her eyes look a little wide. She doesn't look like she is panicking, but she looks like she is on the verge. And she sort of puts her hands together, wrings her hands in front of her, and looks around. Well, almost like she doesn't hear you at first, and then she blinks a couple of times, and then she makes eye contact with you. And she says, "I'm sorry, dear. What'd you say?"
Are you okay? Would you like me to get Rosalind?
If Roz is around, that'd be brilliant. I came here to speak with her.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go. Eve's gonna offer her ungloved hand out to like guide her to somewhere to sit. And the room gets like a little bit warmer.
Yeah, she'll take your hand, and I think you can feel as she does so that she is trembling a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, Eve's kind of a little bit worried about leaving her alone, but it's just like if she can catch one of the other girls really quick and be like, "Can you? I need to grab Rosalind really quick."
And she settles in. She settles in on the chair, and kind of leans back and closes her eyes. She doesn't look like she's sleeping, but she does look like she's finally resting a little bit. yeah, you can go get Rosalind. I think you actually probably can hear her taking a few steps down the stairs.
Yeah, Eve's gonna like go into like the hallway a little bit and just call Ross.
Yes.
I need you. You're a friend of yours.
Oh,
Please hurry.
okay. All right. Rosal kind of lift up her gown just a bit to make sure she doesn't trip on it as she goes a little quicker down the stairs. Did you catch their name?
No, I just know that they've been here to see you before. But but I hear a cat. I'm not. But she doesn't seem well.
Oh, perhaps some tea? I'll go check on her.
I'll grab the tea.
Thank you. Um, I'll go in to the room to see who it was.
Yeah, and Eve, as you go to put the kettle on, Roz, you step into the room, and the sitting room with all of the comfortable furniture where you're used to welcoming clients. You recognize Jenny Johnston sitting in your chair, one of the chairs. She is, as you well know, kind of a figurehead in your community, specifically in the lower end neighborhood of Limehouse, which it's very possible is where your brothel uh, lives. It would not be out of place, shall we say. Um, Jenny is the proprietor of an opium den here in Limehouse,
Oh,
but you've never seen her look this rattled before.
well, Jenny, darling, what brings you by? Did Eve offer you some tea? I have her grabbing some tea for you, but I can always get you something a little more exotic.
She sits up and opens her eyes when she hears your voice. She looks a little relieved. She says, "If you've got something stronger, I wouldn't say no."
Well, we have wine. I'm sure we've got some absinthe around.
Maybe just wine. I think I've seen enough.
Okay. And she'll speak up a little. Eve,
Yes,
forget the tea. Bring some wine, please.
coming.
Are you okay?
I think I will be. I think I will be. No, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. Sorry, Roz. I don't mean to barge in and put this on you. It's just you've you've got some dealings with strange goings on, don't you?
I suppose you could say that.
That that Hargrave house. You know
Uh,
them.
And how did you hear about that?
It's, it's my job to hear things. But it's just stories. You just hear stories, you dismiss them. That Hargrave house has experience with strange matters. And I think at Eve at this point you can come back with the tea and the drink. And Jenny will lean forward and take it and start sipping on it, and looks a little more relieved. She looks like she's getting calmer with every second.
Why don't you explain to me what's happened? And I'll see how we can help.
Right. Um, I know he's not one of yours, but Soft Jimmy. And Roz, you know of Soft Jimmy. Soft Jimmy is a prostitute. But like Jenny said, not one of yours.
Of course.
Um, I found him dead in my my establishment. Just curled up in a corner. I thought maybe, I don't know what I thought, but then Charla, she was a mother, and they found her behind the school. And then a sailor, a Chinese fellow, found outside a pub down on the docks, the Dog and Whistle. And it's Limehouse, it's London, murders. It's not unusual, but she looks up and she meets your eyes, and you can see that she looks scared, she looks haunted. Ross, they were dry.
Dry.
Not a drop of blood between the three of them.
Oh. Oh. And I suppose none around them as if it had been spilled out either?
No, none.
I will let my companions know. Are you going to be okay? Would you like to rest here for a while?
I don't think so. I think sooner the better. And she looks around to see who might be listening, and I think it's just you and Eve, even though there are other girls around. They're preoccupied, they're talking amongst themselves, nobody appears to be listening, and she leans forward as she says, I've got them.
You've got who?
I've got them in my basement, all three.
Jenny.
I don't know what to do.
You might be accused of this.
Well, what am I supposed to do? I can't go to the yard. I can't go to the authorities. I mean, one of them's Chinese, Rosalind. That's a small but thriving community. This would only cause trouble for them. They'd be blamed. The yard would go after them.
Okay. Well, keep it quiet. And me and my friends will come by tonight. It's not like it's unheard of for me to visit your establishment or for my clients too.
Sure, no one will ask questions, but I'm hoping you can find something.
Of course. Do you need an escort back?
I think I'll be all right.
I'll round up some friends.
Thank you. Roz.
Be safe.
And she'll leave.
Roz will look over at Eve. I suppose we need to go talk to the others at Hargrave House.
Basement?
Yeah, that wasn't a wise decision. But she's right. I'm not really sure what other choice she had. I'm sorry if she startled you.
But I'm fine.
You look almost as fine as she was whenever I first came down.
I I'm going to pretend that everything is fine until it is. And just put it out there.
I'm going to go gather some things. Why don't you let the girls know that they will be in charge of the house tonight and that we will be out?
I can do that. Are you fine?
I am. I will be. We will be. It's going to be fine.
Okay. Eve's gonna go and turn to go where the girls are. I don't know what's more terrifying to Eve, the dead bodies or talking to the girls. So
You got to get practice. You're going to run the house.
she knows, but she's also like, oh, they haven't warmed up to me yet. And they seem so nice, but oh, I'm not Rosalind.
I think Rosalind will go upstairs to pack a little clutch.
Okay. Yeah. And to make your way to.
When Eve is ready.
Okay. Cool. All right. I think if yeah, I think this is fun. So normally this happens over the course of play in a longer form of the game, but since this is a one shot, this would be fun to do. Which is called Paint the Scene. And so we are gonna describe a few things about Hargrave House. I think we'll just round in order for all of you, starting with what makes the most sense to me, the reception hall. And I think this question will be for Leighton.
Yeah.
So the question is, do you feel unsettled or at home when you enter Hargrave House? What do you perceive in the reception hall that reinforces this feeling?
Oh. I feel like Brighton feels more at home in Hargrave House than his own manor. And I don't know, I feel like there's a portrait on the wall of someone who invited him into Hargrave House and kept him safe. Don't know who that would be right off the top of my head, but yeah. Someone
important.
But it's like but it gives like
important.
Scooby-Doo portrait where you're not sure if the eyes are gonna
Right.
pop out and follow you. So
Absolutely. I love that. That makes sense. For the gunsmith, I would ask you about the trophy room. There were hunters living in Hargrave House before you. Trophies for encounters with the supernatural can be found here. Describe one.
There's one that they affectionately call Nessie Jr. It's not the actual Loch Ness, but it is a sea creature of some sort. One that gave the other hunters quite a hard time. In the drunken times, it's used as a coat rack.
The drunken times. Perfect. For Lady Sylvia, the map room is littered with maps of the city, of England, of the world, and some of them are highly unusual. Name one and describe why it's so strange.
There is one that is kept on its own shelf, and It is not as old as the society is, but nobody is sure who brought it into the society. They think whoever did may have died on a hunt and is not there to explain what it was supposed to lead to, because it's completely unmarked as far as identifying names or labels or anything, and it is a map to somewhere, but it is a maddening activity to try to find out where.
I love that. Eve. Of all the rooms in Hargrave House, none feel more unstuck than the library. Unstuck in quotation marks. As you enter the library, what do you see or experience that feels a little off?
I'm going to say there's a giant, anatomically correct heart base in the middle. Totally have not been thinking about how much I want one of those recently. And it feels like it's been tilted, and like the flowers are usually bright and vibrant, and they seem to be drooping more.
Perfect. And this one is maybe not so much for Rosalind as it is for Chrissy. But ballroom of Hargrave House once hosted a ball for a group of visitors from the Fey realm. Even today, there are subtle reminders of that night in this room. What are they?
Ooh. Okay. I think there's a chandelier, but the glow from that chandelier has never been quite as natural ever since that happened. There's color to it that shouldn't be. It's a little unsettling. And the floor has an almost crystalline gleam to it now. It's just, there's more vibrancy than there should be. And you would think that that would be pretty and lovely in a good way. But somehow it can feel just a little off. You never go into that room and don't feel at least a little on edge.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think that when you enter Rosalind and Eve, it is kind of I think there's kind of an alert that you all feel throughout the house when someone new enters. So I think regardless of where Lord Breton and Lady Hughes and the gunsmith are in Hargrave House, when Eve and Roland arrive, sort of feel this gentle, almost like a breeze again that lets you know someone has arrived. And it would make sense to me that of the places that we have just established, you would probably gather. Let's see. I would say for our purposes, let's go with the trophy room. Why not? That feels unsettling. So here, surrounded by all the trophies, by all the prizes of hunters, current and old, 5 of you, you are not the only members of Hargrave House. You are not the only members of this Society of Hunters, but you are the ones who are presently here. I think there's generally an understanding when this takes place that when injury arises, whoever's available, it's whoever's around.
Okay, I have two questions. I'm so sorry. Okay,
Mhm.
first, Chrissy. Is the last name Bell or Bellhouse?
Bell.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to double check. Second thing is for everybody. And I know it's going to be unhinged, but I have to ask it anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you all smell like?
Oh. Oh.
Jasmine.
Okay.
Blood.
Tracks.
Flowers and blood.
Very much of ink and paper, but underneath there you smell what you think is perfume, but it's not my perfume. It's somebody else who I'm very close with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Sisters,
roommate?
even.
My roommate.
Best friends.
my morning sister-in-law. She's grieving very, very much for the loss of her brother.
She's
Your
grieving
Head
so
on your
hard.
Yeah, she is.
shoulder to
Mhm.
cry on.
Mhm.
Also, I changed Eve's.
Mhm.
Eve smells like a little bit like smoked something.
Smoked something. Okay. Like
Like smoked
the
tobacco
smoked
or
something or
smoked
just like
Like
right.
like fire, like
Okay.
just slightly singed all the time.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Singed, but also floral to try to cover up.
Yeah,
the fire.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And so is Eve new? You said Eve is new here? Well,
I think that's up to Knox. It could also be that Eve has been at Bell House for a long time and has only recently started doing Hargrave House things.
gotcha.
Probably that one.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, Miss Bell, you've come in a hurry. Is something the matter?
Mr. Smith. Good evening. Yes. And is like Sylvia and Gordon also there already? Are we all like coming?
Yes. Yeah, I think you
okay.
all gather more or less simultaneously. And I think this is probably a good chance for people to go around and describe their characters a little bit. So if we want to go let's do the order that we have the room. So Cass, if you want to describe Lord Brighton.
Lord Gordon Brighton is tall, long hair, kind of out of fashion at this point, doesn't care. A little scruffy looking, but very well dressed. Mismatched eyes, lips are an unnatural bright pink color, and is wearing his clothes like was meaning to go out for a night on the town. So has the shirt on, has shirt, vest, pants, everything, and his favorite boots, which thank you for this descriptor in this character sheet. It was wonderful. Heeled leather boots with vermilion laces. Yeah. I had to go with that option. And what and he has thrown his jacket over Nessie Jr. and is just leaning against a door frame or a bookcase or a display case, just looking completely unbothered by life. So
Okay. Now does that that sort of does beg the question, based on what Q said, does that mean this is the drunk times, the drinking times? Is that what it is?
oh, Gordon's never not drunk.
Cool. Good to know. Great to know.
Yeah. Gordon
Great
has
to
to
know.
be intoxicated.
Makes sense. And
Yeah.
Q, what does the gunsmith look like?
The gunsmith is a tall, broad man. Looks like his entire existence is fight. Like, there is no flight to the fight or flight response. He's got dark skin. You can't really tell what the hair situation is because he's wearing a black cowboy hat. He's got the three-piece. It's black with a. It's all black. I don't know what I'm playing. I don't know why I'm playing around. Black jacket, black vest, black pants. There are boots that are definitely not the British style. Looks to be a scaled pattern, like an alligator, perhaps. There's a bolo tie that has a turquoise inlay, and he's got the red glasses that cover his eyes. You can see he's got a couple of smudges on his face. He generally always does. Every now and again, though, he'll take off the glasses to clean them, to wipe them, for reasons that you can't really ever explain. They always look immaculate. One of his hands is wrapped in a bandage that looks a little bloody.
Very cool. Next would be Lady Hughes.
So, Lady Hughes is also dressed in all black, but it's less of an aesthetic choice and more because mourning for a husband lasts 2 fucking years. Although she is nearing the last 6 months of her mourning, which means soon she'll start to wear lavender and gray, and she has started hedging a little bit on that with some things like her gloves and her shoes, and she has, as of late, stopped wearing the fucking veil. When she comes into the house, she does kind of the tall neck of the morning gown. She does unbutton it a little bit more to be more comfortable and breathable. She is more at ease in the privacy of the house, and the look of her is she is freckled and tanned in that way that travelers often were in this time period where sunscreen wasn't a thing. And they just like trusted the giant ball in the sky. Dark, very dark, near black brown hair that is usually kept back and kind of either braided and then tossed up, that braid tossed up into a bun at the back. And steely eyes, and she's still wearing her husband's signet ring, but there doesn't seem to be a fondness there. She's kind of careless with it. It's more there for because she's used to it than anything else.
Okay. Perfect. I believe it was Rosalind next. Or no, sorry, it was Eve. It was Eve next. Yes.
Either one. Okay. Eve is, I'm going to use the 2 terms that our group decided, uncanny valley hot and AI. She looks like she was drawn by AI. Can I have a cane? Please say yes.
Yeah.
Yes! Every game! Let's go!
Say no.
Eve, she looks flushed in like a natural way, but also constantly like warm, like she runs hot. And she has long, flowing, perfectly curled brown hair and like unsettlingly like jaw, like she's like perfectly symmetrical in the creepiest way. That if you see her standing still, she looks like you're in the distance or in a dimly lit light, you're like, wow, that's a gorgeous person. And then she moves, and her movements are just a little bit off. Like everything, like, you know, when gazelles learn how to walk, he walks a little bit like a gazelle learning how to walk. Like her body, she's not used to, like she's not used to her body yet. Um, and she uses she wears like brown and green, like nice royal, extravagant colors. She has a dark green ribbon around her neck because I had to do it to you. And her right arm has just her right arm. She has a silk glove and a nice, not too fancy cane that she leans on a little bit as she gazelle walks.
All right, I love that. And Rosalind.
Rosalind is Venus statuesque. She's curvy, and she doesn't dress in like the typical fashion for the era. She dresses in a very Hellenic fashion. It's scandalous. It does not hide her curves. She's very busty, very, very, very hippie. And again, her skin is very, it's immaculate. It is flawless, gorgeous, beautiful skin. There's something unsettling about her eyes. They're kind of honey colored, but when the light hits them, they almost seem golden. And her hair is a very soft brown that it has perfect waves that reaches just past her shoulders. And she almost looks like she was painted by someone who I like she was their masterpiece. It drove them mad to know that they would never be able to make anything so beautiful. That is Rosalind.
Ruined someone's life out there. God bless.
Love that. Love that. Fantastic. So you've all gathered now and you're trading. Rosalind, are you filling everybody in?
Yes. I think she will, whenever she sees Lady Hughes, she'll smirk and be like, it's good to see your face again.
Yes, I conveniently left it in the back of a cab, and it's gone forever now, I'm afraid.
Oh dear.
Such a pity
Unfortunate.
to see your face.
Did you
Lord
sleep here
Brighton.
last night?
Yeah, I think I did. Wait, what day is
Sleep,
it?
I don't know. I don't know if sleep is the proper word.
I was wondering where you were last night.
Oh, I wasn't at the house. Where
No, the
was
girls
I?
missed you.
Mhm.
Don't remember.
So that nest in the kitchen is yours.
No. Wine cellar, probably not the kitchen.
Please tell me you didn't clear it out.
Not this time.
But there's some fine vintages down there.
Yes, I know. I brought them from home.
Why don't we open one and I'll tell you all a story that I heard today.
I reach into Nessie's mouth and pull out.
Perfect.
Clever.
Yep.
You really have to stop putting things in there.
It's really funny. Please, come on. They left its mouth open. It's like,
Yes, except sometimes when you're drunk, aka all of the time, you forget. And then you start fishing around in there and you're going to break it one day.
You know, I think
not the first time I've heard those words, but definitely not in that context.
think perhaps it's better that the wine is in there other than more interesting things that you all could insert into a mouth.
See, Rosalind understands.
Eve is just sadly stroking Nessie. Like, you poor thing.
What's important is that the wine bottle comes out. Everybody gets a glass. Everybody who wants a glass gets a glass. Rosalind, you bring everyone up to speed with what Jenny shared with you, but I need to go around and ask who amongst you has the highest reason.
Okay, so here's the question. Were we allowed to take advancements and up those numbers at all?
Not to start with.
Oh.
But I believe everybody gets to add 1 to their starting ability, if I remember correctly.
I have a 1.
In reason?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have higher than a 1? Okay. All right.
None of
so
us
it's
picked
between
reason.
it's between Lady Hughes and it's between Lord Brighton, and that makes sense to me.
Yeah. It honestly does.
I think Cass, you were especially enthusiastic about this when I asked in the chat earlier. So here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. Hargrave House knows about creatures that drink the blood of their victims. They're called vampires.
Uh-huh.
But there is a detail in Jenny's story which convinces you that this particular vampire might not be full grown, might instead have the body of a child. What is that detail?
That Jenny was particular about saying that Charla was a mother because she wouldn't necessarily stop for a full-grown adult, but a child in need.
Okay. Trying to think
Maybe
if we
not
can
a
make that
young
work.
child, but a teenager in need.
Okay, so with when she found what was the name? Charda, I think was the name. Charla. When she
Charla.
found Charla, she actually saw something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Vaguely like, yeah, okay, cool. All right.
Like a young person.
Like a young person. Cool. Like that. That makes sense to me. Okay. Now what I will say, and I will add on to that as the person, you and Lady Hughes have the highest reason, but it says I just pick if it's a tie. A vampire that is physically a child doesn't mean that it's young.
Yeah.
Vampires never physically age how old they are when they are turned, and an old vampire has to be handled differently from a young one. So that is a question that is before you. But Lord Brighton, you have that suspicion if you'd like to share it with the rest of the hunters.
Limehouse, no one is stopping to help an adult in trouble for any reason. But a young person asking for a little help, a little handout. Soft Jimmy would never help someone that wasn't a paying customer unless they were someone in need.
Unless they were a little one.
Unless they were a young one.
Well,
That Jenny didn't say there were any obvious bite marks, did she? She just said that they were dry.
Well, we could always go look for ourselves. She took the bodies to her basement.
She did what?
Yes.
She has them in
Well, where else is she going to put them?
Are they no, not the problem.
can't
Are they
we just
locked in the
bury
basement where
them?
they can't get out?
You know, I don't think that possibility occurred to her. I told her we would stop by. It's not unusual for us to be seen in an opium den.
We need to go now. Yeah, we need to go. Yes.
oh, they've been dried out. I'll go get my trunk.
Oh, I see. We're going to put them in the trunk?
No.
I thought we
No.
could perhaps just burn them.
Is opium
If they're not back
flammable,
up and
though?
walking.
Yes.
Sorry,
Amongst
what?
people who are vulnerable and unable to fight them off. We need to go.
Okay.
Do we know what
Uh,
vampires are vulnerable to in this particular universe?
that's an interesting question. I would say yes, probably.
Okay.
I would say we're going to probably lean pretty close to Stoker rules, considering our subject material here.
Mhm.
Got it.
So one of the ways that this system works is that you have questions that you can answer. Now, this is made by this person who made Brindlewood Bay, who so similar to that, you will, when you have questions that you want to answer, like mystery questions, you gather a certain number of clues and then you decide together what the answer might be, and then you roll to see how correct you are. So you have a couple questions before you. You are going to be collecting clues as we go, and then once you have collected enough clues, you'll be able to answer the questions. So a little bit of above the table. Sure. So questions that you have before you.
I can't ask my questions till I have the bodies, which is a thing
That's a
I
fair
just
point.
said.
I mean, so first off, you have is the vampire old? That's the one that's before you right now.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to answer that question. I'm not going to tell you what the complexity is, but you can't answer it until you can't try to answer it until you have a number of clues equal to half the complexity. So when you think you have that, let me know you want to try to answer it, and we'll go from there. In the meantime, it sounds like y'all were heading for the the opium den, Jenny's opium.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay, well, that makes sense. The gunsmith is grabbing a trunk. The rest of you put up whatever it is you would normally have on you for going out on the town hunting.
Gotta button my shit back up.
And then gotta button your shit back up.
Brighton sees you do it and unbuttons his shirt a little.
And if there's one thing that can be said about Limehouse, if there's one thing that can be said about London, if there's one thing that can be said about Jenny's opium den, it's that business stops for nothing. And so when you reach the opium den, when you enter, you might be surprised to note that it is fully operational, that it is dim and smoky. There are cushions laid all around the room. A heavy ammonia-like smell pervades the atmosphere. There's music playing softly. Would anybody well, I'll ask this. Who wants to paint the scene? Who wants to answer the question?
Sure. Only because the gunsmith hates it here.
Give
Makes
us the
sense.
vivid
Makes total
smells.
It
sense.
has to smell awful.
Tell us how many different flavors
So
of
not about the
sweat.
smell. Smell is awful.
Mm-hmm.
The smell is very bad, but the question is, people from all walks of life patronize Jenny Johnston's. What do you see that indicates this?
Oh, I'm still going with the smells because I can't.
Mm.
Underneath the overlying smell of the opium, of the chemicals that make up the compound for people to chase the dragon, there are smells, scents from all different sorts of people. You can smell the expensive perfume that might have been over applied to hide some indiscretion. A cheap perfume or cheap cologne passed off as expensive to show that perhaps the man in the corner with some friends living above their means. There's the general funk of day labor, the toil, the 9 to 5, the factory job. This is their escape. You can feel that freedom. You can smell that hope for a moment away from the toil that slowly breaks them down. There's a smell of death here. Slow. It's insidious.
I love that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. It's very vivid. Perfect. And someone immediately approaches you to offer you some of the opium.
Not tonight. We're here to see Jenny.
Oh, she's expecting you.
Yes, always.
Right. I'll go and fetch her.
Or it's Roz.
They nod at you and they move to go across the room. As they do, you would notice that people stop them and are partaking from the tray that they're carrying as they pass. But they do eventually seem to reach their goal. And I think you are all kind of aware that you are being looked at. People are staring at you, if not only because Roz and Eve are particularly striking. You do look, all of you, a little bit out of place. Probably for Lord Brighton, if we're being honest with ourselves here.
He doesn't partake of opium, so
Nah, but he looks like he does.
yeah, that's fair.
He looks like he hangs out here because his friends are here.
You're right.
Yeah.
But his
He has
friends
the
are
vibes.
here, and it's Lady Hughes. Like,
Fair.
that's it.
That's it. That's the friend.
I'm just here because I can hustle these
Perfect.
people.
And a very nervous Jenny Johnston approaches you, all of you, and says hurriedly, "Thank you so much for coming. Sorry to pull you out of whatever business you might have had going on, but I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do."
Oh, no worries. My 2 best clients are here. Want to show us to the basement?
No, I could show you.
Quickly,
And you follow
if you
her.
would. Mhm.
Ginny, don't panic, dear. Just take a step.
She leads you past the various people splayed out on cushions. A couple people who are farther gone than some of the others will reach out. I think probably, we'll say, Lady Hughes, you feel a hand grab onto your ankle as you pass. But I mean, if you've spent any time around here, you know, just shake it off and keep on. Probably too far gone. They don't do. Jenny pulls a heavy set of keys from her belt and turns the lock of the basement once you're out of sight of the general lounge. And before you, there's a yawning step, and I think the smell hit you before anything else. I mean, the opium den smells bad, maybe with an underlying stench of death, like Q described. But the basement just smells like death.
Jenny, dear, how long have you had them down there?
You said it was only 3.
I mean, only a few days.
Days.
Days. Ginny, give me the keys, please. Darling.
It didn't happen all at once.
Ginny,
but
darling, keys. And go about your business.
When was the most recent one?
Interesting question. Okay, yeah, I'll say. Well, the sailor fella, he was found just yesterday night.
How many days between?
One.
So
I found Soft Jimmy the first night. Next day, I was told about Charla. Went to her body, and then just yesterday, the sailor. By that point, I had put word out about what I was looking for.
Who told you about Charla?
I mean, just one of my locals. Stopped by to give me information. I knew Charla, and well, awful business.
I think we should go look at the bodies. Ginny, please give me your keys.
She'll look at you, Roz.
It's fine. I'll keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't get into anything.
She'll give you the
You
keys.
don't have any alcohol down there, do you?
I'm not drinking
Of
tonight.
course you do.
Oh.
Drinking anymore tonight.
Sure.
It
Also,
is
Jenny,
morning.
you put word out that you were looking for dead bodies?
I mentioned that there are strange circumstances to exsanguination, I think they call it.
They do. They do, in fact.
that is the word.
Very interesting word. Next time, hopefully this never happens again. Next time, you did great. Doing the best you can. Let us know, you gotta let us know when you let the other people know, though.
I didn't tell anyone why I was asking. I didn't tell anyone until I told you.
Do I ask a lot
Jenny,
of
that's
questions?
worse.
So, yeah, wait a minute.
I know what I'm doing.
You're doing your best. You're doing your best, and I love that for you. And you're doing your best. I just need you to
Miss
next time.
Johnson.
Let us know.
Sorry. Miss Johnson. It's best that you stay outside of this particular line of work.
I would love to.
Thank you for letting us know. Now, if you could go and run your business, we'll handle ours.
I'll leave you to it.
Mm-hmm.
And she will retreat away and leave you at the entrance.
I'm going to go
That's
down
wild.
first.
I'm going to lock the door behind us.
I'll follow
So.
after Mr. Smith.
That's
Okay.
good. It's like, what do people think she's doing with the bodies down here?
Why would you just ask? I'm just on the lookout for bloodless bodies.
Because this is her town, or her part of it.
It is, but I worry that now people are going to be afraid of her because she's collecting dead people off the street.
Or
Not
they're going
afraid
to
enough
think
to
that
stay
she's the one who
away.
did it.
They're
Anyone-
already afraid of her. She runs an opium den. She has debts on everybody in Limehouse.
Anyone who pays attention to Jenny, this would not seem overly eccentric. I think it'll be fine.
You can have this conversation as you're stepping down the stairs. I think she would have left you probably a candle that's burning down to see by. And as you descend into the basement, the light falls across the cobblestone floor. You see what you'd expect to see in any basement. There are shelves full of products, old furniture that's been damaged and been moved down here. And then as you go farther towards the back, laid out as respectfully as possible, you do in fact stumble across 3 bodies.
Looking over them, can I look to see how many bite marks? If there's just like one set, or if there appears to be multiple?
Going off of that as
Sure.
well. Also look at how high up the bites are.
How close, how far apart.
Keepers.
Mhm.
Are they even in visible places if they're clothed?
Well, that's also that.
We're looking at all the things.
Trying to
You are looking at all the things. I would say that since we're looking at all of the things, we'll start with Rosalind, since you mentioned checking for bite marks. We're going to do an information roll. And I think with that in mind, you're going to roll with a relevant ability. In this case, I would put forth reason, but I'm open to what you might
Can
argue for instead.
Can I do sensitivity because it involves supernatural forces?
Does involve supernatural forces. Yeah, I'll say
Okay,
sure. I'll say
so-
sure. Because the information you get doesn't necessarily relate to the clue that you're going to find. So go ahead and roll checks and add your sensitivity.
Cool. 12.
Hell yeah.
Amazing. Well, I wasn't sure if this was going to come up, but normally on a 12 plus, you'd also find a mastermind clue. Mastermind being the larger person who is working against you. We're not going to worry about that because this is a one shot. But in normal games of the Between, you kind of have a Moriarty figure who's working behind the scenes to fuck all of you up. And it's just a fun thing about the game. But because you got above a 10, because you got a hit and it wasn't a 7 to 9, you had a clue. Your initial question was about the bite marks.
How many?
How many? Each one does appear to have 2 bite marks on them.
Oh.
Exactly what you from someone who had been by a vampire.
Like, are you talking like two fangs or like 2 separate marks?
2
Okay.
fangs.
That's different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. That's fair.
That is,
Glad you
yes.
clarified. You find standard vampire bite marks. I
But
will
just
say.
like one.
One set.
Not like a tag team.
Mhm.
Good.
Correct.
Right, that's
Does
good.
not seem to be.
They didn't pay extra for that.
They did not.
God damn it, Cass.
All right.
I'm too ace for this bullshit sometimes.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
I
partner
think
saw you across the bar,
you-
really like your vibe.
Like your blood type.
Yes.
Hey, baby, what's your blood type?
Rosalind.
You're just my
Rosalind, as you are looking for as you are looking for clues, you're using it, so you're kind of pulling calls aside, checking necks, etc. All right, fine. Jesus Christ.
Let him cook.
God. He's not trying to cook, he's trying to leave the kitchen. So you move collars aside, you find the bite marks, but I think you kind of your eyes are drawn not just to the necks, but I think in the case of Soft Jimmy, we'll say, you notice something sticking out of his pocket.
Oh. Well, I'll get it. I'll take a look.
It's a Bible.
I don't feel like Soft Jimmy would be partial to carrying around Bibles typically.
Absolutely not. And furthermore, as you examine this Bible, something seems off about it. Something seems strange. And as you start to flip through it, you realize that pages have been torn out. You realize that this is the Bible, but all of the pages telling the story of Noah and the ark have been removed.
Huh.
Ripped out.
Religious hydrophobic vampire?
Who's to say?
Or were they a fan? Oh. Who has blood?
Hey, Will.
Mm-hmm,
I have a move. It's called Rites of Salt and Smoke.
Okay.
I am skilled at contacting dark entities in order to perform magical rituals. Choose what kinds of offerings these entities require. When I give my offerings, because they're always lingering in my peripheral vision, I roll with sensitivity, and I get to essentially communicate or observe. I would like to observe another place and time and see how each of these people died. The
Interesting.
moments leading
Okay.
up to their death, to see if we can clock who this little vampire is.
Okay. That's very interesting. Let's see here. I just want to take a look at that move real quick.
Yeah. And exsanguinated or not, they still juicy. So I just need a little blood from each.
Yeah. For sure, for sure, for sure. Okay. Yeah, I see. This is basically use magic from Monster of the Week. Nice. Okay, yeah, makes sense. This, in your case, this is blood sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Does it say whose blood it has to
Then
be?
yeah, I mean, I guess the question is, are you willing to perform these dark rites in front of your comrades, and how used to seeing it
Well,
are
I'm
they?
pretty sure Sylvia's seen me use it at least a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Rosalind probably once or twice. Probably new to Eve. I don't know that I've spent enough time around Mr. Smith for him to have seen it before. So that's
Okay.
about to change. So.
All right, I love that for you. Yeah, roll with sensitivity and tell us what these dark rites look like.
So Gordon gestures at whoever's holding the candle to like lower it down so he can get a look, and pulls a knife from a pocket in his vest that is like half sewn into the lining, so it's not immediately obvious he has a knife. And it's very small, but it's very sharp. And he pulls it out, and libidity being what it is, he flips each body over, and at the base of their spines just makes a small incision and collects a few drops of blood from each of them into a little vial, shakes it up, and the light from the candle pulses a little, and then his blue eye dims back to match the other brown eye, and he drinks the blood.
I am just going to take a second here to, while that's happening, to just ask the table. We good with this?
Yeah.
Anybody doing anything? We all on board with the good Lord
The
doing
blood
this?
rituals.
Yeah.
Sylvia's the one holding the candle. She's right down there with them. She's seen this before.
Yeah.
Eve is super confused. So is Nox. I'm confused. Are you like rehydrating them like a grape? And then
No, I flipped them over to where the blood would have pooled after they'd been dead for a while, cut them open to get a little bit, and then did a little magic-y, and I drank it.
You're probably mostly drinking spinal fluid, but that's fine.
Yeah.
They're not picky.
So
Yeah.
Bloody Mary, got it.
Yeah, Yeah. Hair of the dog.
Cool.
No offense, Mr. Smith.
I honestly think Rosalind will be kind of fascinated more than appalled.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gunsmith's not
Yeah.
pleased. He's not jazzed.
No.
Is the thing. However, because you're part of the squad,
Mm-hmm.
we'll have this conversation later.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to go into the trunk while we're doing that. You go
Gunsmith will remember this.
ahead.
So there's good news and there's
this.
bad news.
Oh no.
I rolled a 9.
Huh?
So I do get to observe the moments leading up to their deaths. There's a complication.
There is.
Where are my fucking glasses? Because that print is very small. The magic draws immediate unwanted attention.
Oh no.
You don't say.
Good thing we're locked in here.
Nothing but these 3 dead bodies.
Yeah, the problem is with me, there's so much at the peripheral all the time. I'm like a little magnet. Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well that's fun. Yeah, you can observe another place or time. So you're looking back to see the death. Which one of them are you going to focus on? Let me ask you that. You found the Bible and Soft Jimmy. There's still Charla, and there's the sailor whose name I will give you, even though I don't think you would have a reason to know it. His name is Zhao Donghai.
I think because Gordon knew Jimmy and would assume that Zhao was also similarly like paranoid in Limehouse, I think he would go after Charla because Charla is school mistress. Like this one feels personal. Like
Yeah.
the other two are more vulnerable than her.
I think that's fair. Yeah. Charla, you focus on Charla, you focus on the dark spirit in your periphery, and I think you feel them gather in close around you, almost like a huddle. The edges of your vision, I think, go dark. Everything kind of is consumed in that darkness. You start hearing whispers. You start hearing you're normally drowning out the things that they say to you constantly that you'd rank to ignore. That you've become very adept at ignoring, and now it's getting too loud and too close for you to tune it out. But that's what happens when you invite them in. That's what always happens. And you see this things materializing out of that darkness. You see Charla when she was alive, very vital, very full of life. She's young. She is a mother, but she's young. Probably younger than you, Lord Brighton. You see the moment of her death. You see her in an alleyway. You recognize it probably behind the Limehouse School. And it's too dark. You're kind of seeing things from her perspective. So you have this impression of something, of a small body kind of clinging onto her, holding her still, but it's impossibly strong. Teeth in the neck. The life literally drained out of her body. Things going dark on the edges of her vision, much like it just did on the edge of yours. You hear her trying to speak, trying to say something, but as the blood drains from her voice. And as that it continues as all of that flashes across your vision. Excuse me. Your eyes, also Charlo's eyes, fall on a pile of flowers in the alley, lying on the ground. A copious number of them, like far too many. Someone to have dropped them by accident. They must have been gathered. They must have been placed here. And they are all lilies. And above the table, I'll let you know that that's a clue. That's one of the clues.
Okay. And
Ah.
what takes notice?
Yeah. For the rest of you, I mean, you've seen this before plenty of times. You watch as Lord Brighton crouches down, does his ritual, he drinks the fluid that comes out over. He's kind of consumed by whatever it is that he's seeing. Standard, it's all very boilerplate. Ham. Since you are holding the candle, Lady Hughes, I think you're the one that notices the blood that starts to, the drops of blood that start to sort of plink off of the cobblestones under where he's hunched over.
I think there is a familiarity between us that it does not. There's no hesitation for me to reach out with my other hand to kind of like grasp and draw back the spot of your shirt where the neck would be to see if you had carried like a phantom bite from this vision to see if maybe that's what's bleeding. Because I think that would be my first thought from seeing you do this before. So I would reach to check to see if that is where the blood is coming from.
You pluck the collar. You only see his neck. Looks very normal, but when you do that, suddenly, unnaturally, Lord Brighton's head jerks to the side, almost too far of a degree, almost like it snapped. And you get a look at his face. He's bleeding. He's bleeding from his nose. He's bleeding from his eyes. He's bleeding from his ears. There's a red film of blood over his eyes, which are wild and crazed. And his mouth is open. More blood spilling out. Just as jerkily, his hand shoots out and grabs your wrist. And like he has breath in his lungs, he gasps out, Sylvia, you didn't think I'd stay away. And we're going to take a break.
Wow.
Sorry,
Oh,
Beshi.
Oh my god, I can't believe you invited my ex-husband to this party!
This
I'm
is so
sorry.
awkward. This is so awkward,
Hey, I'm not
actually.
He's not-
cheater.
He's not allowed to hang out inside me. That's not a thing.
Well,
I don't
maybe
think he's
slip out of that
asking for
before it makes
permission.
spinal fluid.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is awkward. Well, we will be. We're
This
gonna
is
step
awkward.
away. We're gonna go. We're gonna step away. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Don't go away. We'll get back to the rest of the mission. At that point, if Eddie needs to close the stream before we jump to your window, now would be the time to do it. And we will be back in 10 short minutes. Don't go away. See you.
Make it.
We did it. Goodness gracious.
Oh, gosh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Here we are. Yeah, so they're showing me transcript of what's being captioned right now, but I don't see anything during the.
Yeah. I mean, the
that's weird.
Twitch captions were for sure showing what you were saying.
Interesting.
That's
I
what
mean,
it
they
is.
were trying to anyway. It was
Yeah.
picking up your voice. It wasn't exactly picking up on your words.
No.
That's so weird. Because they could be trying potentially to caption the music, but like, I thought it should be going to an audio track where it's not being picked up, but maybe that's not true. Anyway, I don't know. It could have been trying to transcribe the music lyrics, but I don't know. Either way, yeah. Anyway, we're back. We're gonna keep on going now and pick up right where we left off, which is to say, we left off with Lord Brighton's body hunched over the corpse that he was performing dark magics on, as Lady Hughes reached down to check on him to see if he was having some sort of stigmata situation with the spirits that he was communing with. Discovered that no, there were no bite marks on his neck, but he was bleeding from pretty much every other possible orifice. And then he lunged, grabbed her by the wrist, and said some very concerning things. He rasped out, "Sylvia, you didn't think I'd stay away. What would you like to do?" Mr. Smith, yeah? Are you raising your hand?
I am, because I did make a promise, and I intend to make good on that. The gunsmith moves with a quickness that is surprising for his large frame. And he's going to go for Gordon's throat, just hand around, trying to lift him bodily up into the air.
Love that. Yeah, I think that's a great idea for you to do. We are in the day phase, so you're going to do the day move. You're going to roll with an appropriate skill, which I think in this case, I mean, you can tell me vitality makes sense, but it could be something else.
Sure. We'll go with vitality. It's one of my good ones.
Now, I need you to tell me, what are you afraid will happen here? What's the worst case scenario?
Worst case scenario?
Yeah, what you are reaching out for Gordon's throat because you have to act in this moment, but what are you worried will happen if you fail?
If I fail, then whatever this entity is going to kill Miss Hughes or harm her in some way right in front of me.
That's good to know. Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
I don't like how you said that.
Hate that a lot is the thing. Okay. Oh, thank God. I had to do math. So sorry. I have my gunslinger die, right? And sometimes it's hard to look at the dots right away. But that's a 9 + 1 is 10.
Okay. On a 10 plus, you do what you intended, or you hold steady. You can describe what it looks like.
Okay.
So you accomplish it. You lunge for Gordon's throat. What do you do?
I think with the speed of it, it allows Gordon's grip to go lax on Ms. Hughes' wrist. And I just have him held up And like I'm not looking directly at him, but I do have him out and away from her, like putting myself in between that and the rest of our team. Now, sir, I don't know who exactly you are, but I'm going to need you to remove yourself from my friend.
And there is, I think, a breathless, almost dusty chuckle from Lord Brighton, still freely bleeding, as he says, "She was my friend first."
And now he looks up, tipping eyes, like the glasses point down a little bit, and you can see the eyes, and there's a flash of yellow. Emphasis on the word was. Now, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. Doesn't make me no never mind either way.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think so you've fully got him restrained. Like, he's pretty helpless in your arms here, but he doesn't seem to be departing Lord Brighton's mortal personage, at least not at the moment. And I think he says, "What would you do? Kill Gordon?"
If I had to.
Could use some company.
Well, friend, you're stuck here, so I don't think you get much company with him.
Would anyone else like to do anything while this conversation is taking place?
Yeah. I was wondering who still has that Bible? Who still has the Bible?
Rosalind found it.
Yeah. I think when this happens, Sylvia moves towards where you're standing with the Bible, and she brings the candle, and she's like gesturing for you to open it and start looking for something that we can use to try to like evict Royce.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And so if you are going to try to exorcise your deceased husband,
I am.
From Lord Brighton while he is being held at arm's length by Mr. Smith, that's also going to be the day move. The day move is mostly what we roll when you're doing something risky, unless you have a move for your playbook that supersedes that. So keep that in mind. But I don't think the Explorer does.
No, I don't.
Yeah. So you're going to roll with an appropriate ability, but first you're going to tell me what you're afraid will happen if you fail.
I think if I fail this, I'm less worried. I am less worried about this failing and Royce still being here, and I am more worried about this failing and Gordon not being able to come back. Like, I'm worried about exercising the wrong spirit here.
I will keep that in mind. I think sensitivity is the obvious ability, but if you want to roll with something else, I would hear your case.
Could I roll with composure? Because this is a stressful situation for me.
It is a stressful situation. I think that makes sense. I'll let you roll with composure.
My ex-husband, it's my best friend. It's it's a dark basement standing over some corpses. Don't you dare right now, my guy. My good at bitch.
Can't tell if you're talking to your dice or your cat.
My cat.
I thought they were talking to the dice.
Did you say my goodeth bitch? Is that
My
what I heard?
goodeth bitch. Have you
Okay,
not
I
heard?
just wanted to check.
That is how I speak to him.
Julia says that more than anything.
That is true.
I've definitely heard that being
I was
muttered
gonna
on
say.
class reunion streams.
Oh my god.
My goodeth bitch. That's, I've missed it, and that's on me. That's on me.
All right. So we got double fives with a +1 for stop.
Hey.
We got 11. We got 11.
yes.
Cool. All right. So you grab the Bible, you turn around, you wheel on Royce, who is currently in Gordon's body as he is being held still by Mr. Smith. And you begin your exorcism. What does it look like? You are gonna do what you intended, so you can describe what this looks like.
I think what this looks like in the dim dark of this candle that we have, it unfortunately seems to get dimmer as a sourceless wind picks up a little bit. With this, it stirs the ladies' gowns. It ruffles the the open collar of Brighton, and I think it batters probably a little rough against Gunsmith because he's the one holding Brighton. But the candle does not go out, which is the important thing. And the wind will continue to pick up until Royce has been pushed out.
Yeah, I think he is still sort of flailing, still sort of scrabbling at your arm, Mr. Smith, but he's not actually like finding purchase. He's not actually doing any damage. There's no strength in his arms, or maybe that's just Gordon. Hard to say. The wind seemed to be swirling around him. He's kind of like jerking in that same unnatural kind of way, almost twitching at this point. And he reaches out for you, Sylvia, in what looks like maybe a last ditch effort. And he says, in that same rasp, "We swore till death do us part. You swore."
I lied.
Yes.
Iconic. Fucking iconic.
At that, Gordon's body goes limp in your grasp. Mr. Smith goes absolutely limp, just falls forward, ragdolls in your arms. Lord Brighton, you very suddenly come back to your senses with Mr. Smith's hand around your throat, it sounded like.
I really thought I'd have to play a little nicer to get this treatment. What did I do? Did I do anything weird? I'm sorry.
Good, you're back to yourself.
Oh, who was here? Please tell me it wasn't someone insufferable.
Her ex.
Royce.
Wait, who's... Oh... He was in... Oh, I'm gonna need a bath. Oh.
Do me a favor,
Uh,
Mr. Lord Brighton.
yes, Mr.
If
Smith.
you're going to engage in magic or in the arcane, please give me forewarning so I can be elsewhere.
Oh. Apologies, I did not know that would be an issue. Fair warning. Things like Royce are just always around me. I don't always have to do anything for them to show up.
That part's fine. But you invited it.
I
is
didn't.
the problem this time.
Well, I did, but I was a little too drunk. Still hadn't sobered up quite enough. My mistake.
He's going to set him down.
I think Roz will hand over just a very dainty handkerchief. You have a little blood on. Well, you're everything.
Oh, I like this shirt.
I'm sure you can buy another.
So, standing in the basement of the opium den, you have found 2 different clues. You have managed to banish Lady Hugh's ex-husband back to the hell from which he came.
Mhm.
And you managed to save Lord Brighton from himself.
No one can do that. That's an impossible task.
End of the mystery.
For
That was-
today.
Yeah.
For
We
today.
did so good. I think that Mrs. Smith is gonna have to do the hard part, which is deal with the bodies. For those of fragile or gentler constitution, you may want to look away.
What are you gonna do with them?
I don't know that these are going to get the luxury of having an actual burial. They won't all fit into the trunk.
Well, not in one piece.
And he's opening the trunk, and there's like a saw.
A saw.
Yeah.
Oh, I can get rid of them much faster than that.
Elaborate.
Cremation is a lot faster.
Cremation. In the base. We can't carry them out
The
through.
smoke, darling.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, that's
While that would be useful.
Not here.
Yes. Also, goodness knows what she has down here. The whole place could go up like a powder keg.
I can control it.
When we get back to the Hargrave house.
Yes. There's
You
that pit
cannot
outside.
You cannot control chemicals.
No, I can control the fire.
I think this would fall under those arcane arts that Mr.
Yes.
Gunsmith
My
said
apologies.
would rather not be
So-
here for.
Mr. Smith, you said about your grisly task,
Mm-hmm.
but it sounds like you're a bit of an expert, so I imagine it does not take you undue amounts of time before you've disassembled the beings in front of you and stuffed what remains in the trunk to be conveniently carried away and disposed of at your leisure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, the rest of you stand by while that happens. And
I have a question, which I think we could discuss while this happens.
yeah, what's your question?
So Charla, as has been brought up several times, was a mother. Has anyone seen her child?
I was going to ask Jenny about that.
Yeah.
Note, I saw how she died when I was indisposed. I'm pretty sure whoever this was brought her lilies. Freshly cut lilies.
Sir. An interesting flower to bring to someone still alive.
Yeah.
Do we know?
We'll say, Lord Brighton, it didn't look so much like an offering to you as it did a collection.
Oh. I will say that. Collection of lilies. Maybe not for her. Maybe they're the child's. Are we
Was
sure
it a
the
flower monger?
Or are we sure where they were found is where they were killed? Where do you find lilies? Graveyard.
Funerals.
Yeah.
Funeral homes.
Morticians. And what better way to hide vampiric tendencies?
So if they're leaving the bodies, they're not really hiding any kind of a tendency at all.
So this is pretty much exactly what the answer a question move is, but
Yeah.
no. You're absolutely on the right track. These are all great points that y'all are bringing up, but we could either do that now or we could do that once you get back to Hargrave House. That's up to you. Once you get back to Hargrave House, that'll be the end of the day phase, and we'll move into the night phase. But if you want to try to answer the question first, makes sense to me.
Gotcha.
Well, my only thing is I think we do need to find out where about her child before we go back to the house.
Yeah.
Because what if that is the vampire?
You can do that.
Yeah.
I will let you know if you want to try to answer the question, you have enough clues. Barely.
Okay.
Yeah.
More clues will give you a bonus to the roll, but you could try to answer the question now. We're back at Hargrave House with the clues that you have.
Okay.
And remember that in this system, that works like you basically put forth a hypothesis of what has taken place here, of what's up with this thing, and then we roll for it to see how accurate you are.
Okay.
May I have a real bad idea. So I have this move. And it's called Beacon in the Dark. When I walk the streets of London at night, I literally spread my consciousness around like a spider web, and I can be confronted by a threat or a danger. What if I'm reaching out for whichever vampire made this child?
The papa?
The papa or the mama?
Does it say that you get to pick the danger?
Nope, but I'm hoping I would be able to.
I will let you know that every mystery comes with multiple dangers.
Oh, well, fuck.
So,
Okay, never mind. We're going to hold on to the bad idea until it becomes relevant.
So,
Okay.
Are we going to look for the child first, or I, at the very least, should head back with the trunk?
Children don't like me, so I should not be anywhere near them.
So you'll help with the trunk, and
Yes, I'm going
we'll
to
go
help
look
with
for the child.
Yeah.
Not to assume, ladies. Will you come with me?
Yes, of course.
okay. I love this. I think it makes a lot of sense. So the Lord and Mr. Smith are going back to Hargrave House with the trunk. And Eve and Rosalind and the Lady Hughes are gonna search for the child. Okay, cool. Lord Brighton and Mr. Smith, you head back to Hargrave House carrying the trunk. Between the two of you, it's significantly heavier, obviously, than it was before. Jenny speaks to you on the way out. She looks very concerned. She says, were you able to find anything?
Yes, but it's probably best if you don't know more. Your guests are no longer going to be hanging out. They're coming with us. We will find appropriate accommodations for them.
Oh. Thank you, Rosalind. I don't know what to say. I thank you so much.
Of course.
If there's anything I can do.
Make sure you clean your basement.
It's been messy before. Won't be an issue.
Jenny dear, Charlie's child with their other parent, or
I would I'd assume so. His name's Rory. He's stevedore at the canal dock.
That's the father?
Yeah, sorry, that's the father. Charla's husband. I it was terrible. Took a terrible argument for me to convince him not to go to the yard about it. He wanted to report her death right away, and I had to lean on him quite a bit to let him, well, to let you see her first.
We're going to go. Come on, Mr. Smith. Oh, I'm not touching that. Let's go.
Thank you, Jenny.
Cool. You go to leave the opium den. As you are covering your nose, Mr. Smith will say, you notice, you feel eyes on you from across the room. When you look across the room and follow that feeling, you see an assortment of pillows and cushions spread out on the ground. Not unusual for the den by any means. That's pretty much all anybody is sitting on. But this particular person stretched out languidly, arms wide, just leaning back in their seat. They are dressed garishly, to say the least. A gold smoking jacket open over their bare chest, yellow silk pants, but soft slippers, very expensive looking on their feet. Most notably, wearing a sun-shaped half mask that obscures the majority of their features. You lock eyes with them even through the mask, and they just sort of tip their head forward towards you and raise their opium pipe like a toast as they nod at you.
There's a moment longer as they're moving where the eyes stay locked. That's the only acknowledgement given. There's no head nod, no hat tip. There's just a second longer of a gaze, and then he's out the door.
Cool. You make it out of the opium den. You go your separate ways. And Eve, Rosalind, and Lady Hughes, you head for the docks. The canal docks, specifically. Which, it's getting very late at this point, nearly past midnight. But it's not empty here. It never really is. There are always sailors to fill the bars, which most nights don't even close. Wouldn't make sense for them to. People would just start clamoring as soon as they open the next morning. And there are plenty of people working, even this time of night. Plenty of stevedores out. Be hard for you to distinguish one of them from the other as being Rory, but you ask around a little bit. Finally, somebody does direct you. Somebody knows Rory. Points him out to you. He's just sort of slinging crates outside of one of the moored boats, getting ready to load it up. It's covered in soot from his work. As you approach, you can smell the sweat coming off of him from all of the hard work that he's doing. Looks like he hasn't slept in days. Just kind of a hangdog expression, huge bags under his eyes. Hard for you to even really get a sense of what color his hair is or whether he's tan or pale because of the amount of soot that's all over him. But as you approach him, as tired as he looks, clearly still alert, because he takes note of you three as you approach him and quickly straightens his posture. He might be used to being approached in the middle of his work, but certainly not by three people who look like you do. Evening, Mrs.
Evening, sir.
Did you need something from me, or...
Sorry to hear about your loss.
We came to pay our respects, and I understand that you and your wife had a child. We would like the Hughes family would like to make a donation on the child's behalf.
That's right. Generous of you. Sorry, I didn't know that Charla's death was being spoken about. Not sure how you heard.
We hear things, we know people. Don't worry about it. You know what? I have a move for this.
Okay.
Just straight up, don't worry about it. Mind your business.
I have something called Giveth. At any time, you can declare that a side character is secretly one of your worshippers. Describe how the side character subtly or not so subtly debases themselves before you in the scene.
Woof. All right.
The monster hunting game, Will?
Look,
what the fuck, my guy?
it's what it says when you buy it.
Okay, sure.
Cool. How does that work mechanically? What do you roll? Do you just declare it?
Well, once I describe how they debase themselves, I get a scar on my reflection.
Okay.
And then I can gift something from my personal quarters to a worshiper, and they will do exactly as I say, no questions asked, up to and including destroying themselves. If you demand information from them, it may come in the form of a clue or at the keeper's discretion.
Okay.
Ma'am.
Cool. Holy shit. Wow. All right. Well, you don't have, I assume you probably didn't fill out your personal quarters because we didn't really talk about that. And that's totally fine. So we can absolutely say you have things in your personal quarters. You can give him a token or something if you want. Do you want to make the declaration about how he knows you? How he is secretly your worshiper?
Well, it's more of how he behaves. I think when he finally recognizes me, I believe he probably starts stuttering. I believe he's probably a little more enamored than a married man who is mourning his wife should be. And I don't want to say he gets on his knees, but he almost does until he remembers he's in public.
Oh,
Sure. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Miss Bell. I don't know why I was pretending I didn't know who you are. I mean, everybody knows who you are.
It's okay. But we do have some questions that it would be better for everyone if you answered for us.
Anything.
I know.
Anything you want.
I know.
I'm just like looking at Eve, like out of the corner of my eye, just to check to see if this is normal behavior.
You get used to it after a while. It's interesting. It's fascinating, really.
It was instantaneous.
I hope I'm not supposed to be able to do that.
Well, you still have time.
That's concerning.
Oh, do you not want to do that?
I don't know how she does it. don't think she has to do anything. They just fall over themselves. Do I have to start fixing her dress?
Tell me, was your child with your wife when she passed?
No.
No. Where are they now?
Home. They're home, sleeping.
How old are they?
Just about 4 years old. No, that's too young. Just about 7 years old.
Does your wife have any reason to have lilies with her?
Oh, I'm not married.
I'm sorry. Oh, so you have a child together, but you're not married?
No, she passed. She passed recently. Now I'm
My apologies. Does your late wife have any reason to be associated with lilies?
Elise.
D-
No, she preferred roses.
Okay. Was anyone else around when her body was found?
What? Jenny.
Hmm.
I mean, I like Jenny. She's good. She's a good sort. She helped
Yes.
us. When we had some money trouble. She helped us. I appreciate that, but I don't think we should be keeping this secret. I think we should probably be telling the authorities.
No. No, I think you should listen to Jenny.
You're
It would
right.
be it would be better.
I should.
Yes.
It would be better.
Who did you owe money to that Jenny helped you out? Was it to one person? Was it to a group? Was it to a bank?
Just the landlord.
Who's your landlord?
Morris Finchley.
And had anyone seemed overly interested or threatening to your wife lately?
No, everyone loved Charla. I mean, not the same way that everybody loves you, of course, but in her own way, she was a nice girl.
Well, thank you. You've been so very helpful. Lady
I could be
Hughes,
more helpful.
I know. We'll see if Lady Hughes, did you have any questions?
Just. Does your child stay in at night? Or does.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're sleeping.
Sure. You're sure on that.
Put them to bed myself before I came out for work.
What time do you get home?
It's roundabout sunup.
And what time do you leave?
Roundabout sundown. Take them to school and such before I leave. I mean, and once I get home.
And he has been going out in the daytime. To school.
School? Yeah, that's when school is, yeah.
He has not been resistant.
I mean, he doesn't like going to school, but yeah.
His mother
show me a
did just
child who
die.
does.
His mother did just.
Has he seemed ill prior to her death?
No.
Okay.
All right. Well, here is some money for your child. And I'm kind of just a little weirded out to give it to him.
And he's just like, his eyes are fixed on Rosalind, and he doesn't even look at you. He just kind of pushes. He says, "No, we don't. I just
reach
need
forward
money."
and just kind of like put it in one of the front pockets. I'm like, just here you go.
Please
Take the money, Rory.
This is compensation for the fact that A, your wife died, and B, your child will probably need whatever the closest equivalent of Victorian therapy is. And I'm sorry for accusing your child of being a vampire obliquely. So here's some money.
The child doesn't need a lobotomy.
Yeah.
That's not yet.
Isn't it?
Well, yeah, it depends on when
Depends
we
on
are,
which
I
part of the
guess.
Victorian period we're
Yeah.
in. Do not
Are we
bite
early?
me.
It's so wild to hear in a vampire game.
He's just like doing this thing where he's trying to be real slow and sneaky as he like inches his face closer to where he's trying to bite me. Like I'm not gonna see him.
And Rory is still just fixed on Rosalind. But yeah, you can put the money in his pocket. He's a little too hypnotized.
I think Roz will lean down and like place her fingers like right here. Thank you, Rory. You've been so very helpful. I have one last request.
Anything, name it.
You don't remember we're here.
I'll forget. I will.
Thank you, Rory.
You asked about my ex-wife's death.
I did?
There wasn't anyone else around other than, I think, Jenny, but she did find something. She thought it was my son's, but it's not. He didn't have anything like it. And he'll fish around in his pocket, and he will produce what looks to be a small wooden toy Viking ship.
Oh. This is intricate. May I keep this?
You can have anything from me.
I know. Thank you so much.
Is he drooling? I think he's drooling a little bit.
He's drooling a little bit, yeah.
Men show their passions in such a visceral way.
I feel like after that touch, he's gonna need to change his pants. So
Man.
They're very. Stop it!
Our own pointless.
Stop!
This poor man.
Yeah, he's not going to remember that you're there.
Wonderful.
And you can leave. You've got a clue, by the way. That ship is a clue.
Mhm.
Technically, you didn't give him a thing from your personal effects, but I feel like that was enough.
We'll say she gave him like
Touched his face.
She gave him
Yeah, she did.
Let's give
Him.
it more
She did.
personal than that.
She
She
did
gave him
that for free.
awakening.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
In
I
front
get
of other
it. All right.
people, yeah, for sure.
He gave you a clue. I get it. I'm on board. You got 3 clues, and I will say at this point it is right about 11. So I just want to check in with everybody to respect their time. Do we want to go a little bit longer? Does anybody need to get off right now? Tiny bit longer? Okay.
A little bit longer.
Tiny bit longer.
I
little
gotta
bit.
sleep soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
All right.
wake up
We
in
will.
5 hours.
I
Oh,
understand.
That's wild.
That is wild. So then I think
Bust
what we
the
should
nightmare.
do is quickly wipe back to Hargrave House. We are going to move into the night phase, and we'll do that before we try to answer the question. I ask this because some people have moves that activate during the dusk phase. The dusk phase happens before the night phase. So if you have a move that activates during the dusk phase, now's the time where we're going to roll that. I know one of you does for sure. Not positive if any of the rest of you do.
Who would have one of those?
Who indeed?
whomst among us, really?
Oomst.
Who indeed?
Whomst.
Whomst.
Hey, can we say that I don't know, I feel like the Hargrave house should have like a little old lady that just like a little nana that looks after the place.
She's
House
one
Yeah,
of
there
the
could be a Nana.
Hargraves.
A housekeeper.
Yeah, there could be
Mhm.
a Nana Hargrave.
Nana Hargraves. So I think the gunsmith is taking his late night tea that he gets from Nana Hargrave. And he's gone down to the basement because there's always that time when dusk, becomes nighttime, where we decide whether or not we're allowed to be out in, free civilization.
Polite society.
Polite society, correct. So, hey everyone, wish me luck. Okay, hold.
So yeah, you can do composure or sensitivity, your choice.
That's an 8.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That is a success. However, I am drained.
You are. Yeah, you managed to keep the quickening in check, but just barely. And so I think what that means is as you return, Eve and Rosalind and Lady Hughes, you hear a terrible racket from the basement. Q, what does that sound like?
It is a lot of slamming, banging. There's very guttural cries that sort of rumble into growls that seem less than human. It goes back and forth between Smith and what you can only assume is a beast, till eventually it just all sort of goes quiet. And then Mr. Smith walks up from the basement. His dark skin is sweat slick and just a tinge of gray. And his glasses are fully over his eyes.
I'll offer him a brandy in this trying time.
He will refuse.
I will drink 2 brandies.
Right. As you settle in with your drinks of choice, your wines, your brandies, all of the above, begin to have a spirited discussion about the mystery that lays before you, the clues that you found, what it might mean for this child-shaped vampire that you're hunting. So, the question before us that we must answer is, initially, basically, we are trying to answer the question of, is the vampire young or old? It's a complexity of 4. You have 3 clues. You needed at least 2 to even attempt this. Your extra clue gives you a bonus on the roll. But before we get into that, you have to, we basically have to decide, because if that will indicate what the next question will be. So do we think that it is a young vampire or an old vampire that was turned as a child? Because we are answering the clue, you have to reach a consensus, and you have to roll plus the number of clues incorporated into the answer or otherwise explained away, minus the question's complexity. Complexity 4, you've got 3 clues. So this roll will be at a -1.
Oh my.
What do we think?
Okay.
So, the addition of the Viking ship.
Yep.
Does the Viking ship look like it is? So the question that the ship brings up for me is if it was contemporary to the Viking period and is thus a very, very old wooden toy ship,
Mhm.
or if it is just a newer toy ship that happens to look like a Viking. Because if it's a very old toy, it leans more towards sentimentality.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Hey, hello, Raiders.
Hey.
Welcome on
And
in.
Lost
We are
Caravan.
Lost Caravan. Welcome to see you. Wrap up very soon a game of the Torian monster hunters trying to solve this mystery for us. Answering that question. We are also fundraising for the Lionheart Fund to help our friend the Lionheart, the Lion Knight 42, be housed. So thank you for the raid. And there we go. Carry on. Sorry. Ships
Okay.
and whatnot.
Yeah. Is the ship? Yeah. Is the toy like an old toy or a new toy
Yeah.
that just looks like a Viking ship, or is it an old Viking ship toy?
What do you all think? What do
Okay.
you think would be more interesting?
My theory, I think it's an old Viking
Yes.
toy. Yeah.
Because if frankly, this is Cassidy, the historian, talking. If it were a new toy, it would be a ship of the line. It would be a tall mast ship. It would not be a Viking ship.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's fair. Then yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense to me. I think that it is an old Viking ship. Very old toy.
yes.
Yeah. I think it's an old vampire that was turned young.
That's my thought as well.
And goes after vulnerable people or people it can manipulate. That's so loud.
So
He's so far away from the microphone. He's just mad.
Perfect. Okay, well, I mean that makes sense to me. So someone's gonna have to do the rolling. You're gonna be rolling 2d6 minus 1.
I want to say, Max, have you
haven't
rolled?
tonight.
Would you like
Do you want to roll for the mystery?
Okay.
Do it.
Sure.
Do it.
Let's go.
my boy.
He's so happy. Look at him go.
He's gonna go
Okay.
be a menace back there, I'm
Do
sure.
I get a bonus because cat?
No cat bonus. I'm so sorry.
No cat bonus.
Sadly, no
Please?
cat
That'd
bonuses.
be
If that were
awesome, though.
true, I would grab all 3 of mine and just.
The system explicitly says you can't add anything to this roll.
You
Yeah.
can't.
You can't manipulate it.
Oh, damn! That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
unfortunate.
I got a 9.
That's a success.
That is a success with the
Oh.
-1, or
Yeah. Did you subtract one or?
Oh
or...
no.
okay,
You
so
can
that's
make
fine.
it
It's still
An
the
8 is
same.
still a success.
Yeah,
Still
It is still good.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Yeah, so your answer is correct. The opportunities before you can be pursued as you continue your hunt for the vampire. But I get to add an unwelcome complication to the answer.
Oh no.
And I think what I will say, I think this makes sense for Eve, actually, which is very fitting because you were the one rolling for this. Eve, all of the clues that you have before you have the physical Bible, you have the physical toy. Your third clue is just the vision that Lord Brighton had of lilies. And you didn't think much of it at the time, but now that you've got everything laid out before you, now that you're puzzling and theorizing together in Hargrave House, you wandered all over the city of London before you found yourself in Bell House, before you found yourself in Rosalind's care. You don't really remember where you came from. You don't really remember who created you. But now, as you sit here reflecting on all of this, you remember lilies. You remember seeing lilies somewhere. It takes you a long time. It takes you a lot of thinking and puzzling and maybe sitting in silence while the rest of the hunters are talking before you suddenly, very distinctly, have this vivid memory of nearly a field of lilies growing in a corner of the city that you frequented for a while. And the building that field bumped up against, the orphanage. And given the hour, that's where we're going to end our stream tonight. I mean, anytime I have to end a stream early, I sequel bait. There could be a part 2. There could be a part 2.
There has to be.
Yeah, I was about to say, could be nothing. Has to
All right.
be.
Has to be a part 2.
Yeah.
You heard
Extra
it here
Life
first.
is coming up soon. We're
Yeah,
gonna
That
have
is a
to-
great point.
We every time we want to do a charity thing, we just get the gang back together
Yeah.
Just get the
we
gang
just
back
do
together.
another one shot.
And the 12-ish games of Hasmus. I mean,
That's true.
like,
That's true. Lots of different options before us. That's fantastic. So yeah, we are going to go ahead and wrap up very quickly, give everybody a chance to do our introductions, and then we're going to raid Tales from the Table Studios because they are still live. And they didn't go live that long ago, so they'll probably still be going when we finish up. So if we just go around in the same order that we did before, Cass, where can people find you? What do you have going on?
Hi, I am Cass. I can be found mostly on Discord, but I can talk today. I can do that. That's a thing I've been doing for hours. You can find me under Yoda Mighty. I have a blue sky. I don't really do anything with it, but tomorrow you can find me doing similarly weird shit with Will over on Entropy Emporium. We're playing God Complex, which is the Girl by Moonlight campaign, and we're piloting the husks of dead gods to fight giant space kaiju. It's great. I eat people. It's fine. And then what I do. And then on Monday, find me over in Queensgate Chronicles, playing Queensgate Chronicles with Knox. Our coffee shop is still standing, and that's all. Our tea shop is still standing. That's all that matters. It's all that fucking matters.
Might have ruined that.
Look, the layers of bullshit I put on that shop. And then I will be back over here next Thursday playing Redacted, which is JD's horror game. It's David Lynch's 24. I play that with Q. And I'm kind of on a slow September. So there's some other things coming up that haven't been announced yet, but I really want to announce them and I can't. It's going to be fine.
Soon though. Soon, I'm sure.
So soon.
Knox.
Hi, it's me, Knox. Hi everyone, my name is Knox Skidos. My pronouns are she, her, hers. My throat has been hurting all day because I've been sick for the past week. I was Eve, your resident mess. Anyways, so this Saturday I may or may not be because I'm visiting my partner for like an early birthday present, so I might not be. But Entropy Emporium's having Blooming in the Rot, which is our Invisible Sun campaign, and I play Bellamy, a mess. Her name is Bellamy. I swear it's Bellamy. Everything is fine. And yeah, it's okay. On Monday, I have 3 streams. I have
Jesus.
at 10 in the morning Eastern Standard Time, I'll be on my own Twitch channel, Nocturnal_7, because there is a mutual aid raid train for getting people compression items and getting them gender affirming care items. And I'm participating in that raid train. I don't know what I'm going to be doing yet. I don't know if I'm going to have people on it. My partner may or may not be joining me, or I might just be playing Dead by Daylight. I don't know what I'm going to do, but this is really important to me as someone who actually signed up to also get the items, because compression items are incredibly important. So this is something really important, and I'm going to talk about that on my Twitter. But you can find that stream. And then at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be on Cat the Lore Mistress's channel, because we said we were going to play this back in March, and then life happened really bad. We're going to be playing Love is on the Cards, where I'm going to be we're going to do like a rom-com between my character, Lusa Star, and her character, I forgot their name, but they're a leprechaun. But I'm more excited about the side character I get to play, which is Chupacabra, who is just really like a team player and is somehow in accounting. And they're just like, you don't know what you're doing. I'm so excited for that. And then Queen's Gate Chronicles, where I play Layla, again, another mess who might have let like a weird doppelganger of her previously thought dead fiance in the shop where she lives with her daughter, not
the only doppelganger we're dealing with either.
It's also not the only doppelganger. Talking about monster hunting or monster fucking. I'm gonna date them all. Anyways, I just want to say on September 21st, I'm going to be in a Hispanic Heritage Month stream of Kids on Bikes. I'm not going to be in it. I'm GMing it over on Diversity Saves.
Very different. Very different.
7:30 p.m. because it's going to be Hispanic Heritage Month. Let's go. And I'm being other stuff coming up, but that's like in the future, and I'm talking too much. So follow me on social media at Nocturnal_7. Okay, and back to you.
Incredible. Chrissy, what do you have going on?
Hi, I'm Chrissy in color, she, they pronouns, and tonight I was Rosalind. As for what I've got going on, it is slow fall, but one of the games that you can find me in is Mothership with 12-sided stories. But that game, I think it's behind a paywall on their Patreon or their Buzzsprout. It is a great game. Like, I'm in it with Candace Magnificent and Janine and Wes and Michelle, all fantastic storytellers, and it's definitely worth subscribing to get a good listen to. And yeah, that is what I have in the immediate future. But you can follow me on my socials as Chrissy in Color to see whenever I happen to pop up on something else, because I just kind of get thrown into last minute things sometimes.
Thank you so much, Julia.
Hello, I am Julia. I'm Hexwat on all social media platforms. Tonight I have played Lady Sylvia Hughes-Nee Gray, and she had a great time. Tomorrow night I will be here on LFTA with Never Ember's Enigma playing Lavinia Hale. Remember, ACAB does include Lavinia Hale. She is currently with her roommates. Her actual roommates in this case, running around in the city of the dead while one of them does a research project, and she's trying not to get maybe possessed. It's unclear what's happening, what this feeling she's experiencing is. Maybe it's possession, maybe it's divine intervention. We'll find out. I don't know. And then Sunday I will be here again for Academy H, where I will be playing Lyra Kroll, team mom at this point, team leader for sure, can't get out of it, voted in twice despite her best efforts. And so that'll be fun. We're having a great time over there. Absolutely fantastic time. Nothing traumatic is going on at all. Don't ask why we're in the parking lot of a hospital. Don't worry about it. And then every other Saturday, I will be here again for class reunion, where I play Kelly Violet. She's got a lot going on too. We can't get in. We really, truly just can't. We can't get into it. We cannot get into what's going on with Kelly.
Do not have enough time.
We do not. So you'll just have to come see. But yeah, pretty much everything I do is here at LFTA. I live here, I die here. And that's that.
Q.
Hi, I'm Q. Tonight I played the gunsmith, Mr. Smithy if you're nasty. When you don't see me here, you can find me out on the internet at Midnight Inc. That's midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. I keep making cowboys and will continue to do so. All right, let's go through this. Every other Thursday, Redacted. With JD and Cass and other people. We love that. Every other Saturday is class reunion. Every Sunday over at RPGs Uncovered is the Starcrier conflict. Tuesdays we have either Nephilim Tenebris over here on LFTA, or they call us villains over on Entropy Emporium. Do I have anything else? I have so many projects that I simply cannot talk about. So many of them that I cannot talk about. But some of them are going to be up soon. So just keep a lookout over at Tales from the Table Studios, very specifically. And speaking to that, of course, we still have the Lionheart Mutual Aid going on to make sure that the Lion Knight 42, aka Drake Lionheart, can remain housed with his family because it's hard out here. And just getting people to help every little bit they can is a wonder. We've done so well so far, and I'm so grateful, as I imagine they are. But yeah, that's it for me.
I will say, before I get into it, that I checked while other people were talking, and Ko-Fi doesn't tell you what the total amount raised is, at least not on mobile. But we was at 69% when we started Nice, and it is at 72% now. So I don't know how much of that was us.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. And if you did donate, yeah, that's incredible. I know I'm going to go donate after we're offline. But yeah, hi, my name is Will. I was your storyteller this evening. I don't have nearly as many things. This week was very busy for me. Most weeks are not currently. Tomorrow night, I will be over at Entropy Emporium running God Complex, the aforementioned game, about making the corpses of dead gods into mech suits and fighting space monsters in them. You can catch me and Cass over at Entropy Emporium around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time playing that. It's going to be a sad one. I've been assured by me. Also,
There have been
Saturday.
threats made.
Saturday evening. Saturday's busy. Saturday evening, I'm running a makeup charity game that got canceled. It was going to be part of a Medical Aid for Palestinians fund raising thing, which is good because that's who we're supporting now here at LFGI on the regular. It's going to be a dungeon game. It's myself, Sydney Rubino, Ghost of Eli, Logan the GM, and Chrissy, who maybe forgot.
I forgot what day it was. I have it
Um,
set on my phone. It would have reminded me.
Yeah, for sure. Please stop biting me. It's fine. I have to click things anyway. Release me. Thank you. I think that's pretty much everything I have to talk about. I'll be back running Academy H on Sunday as the storyteller for those chaotic children. Academy H is a podcast. A new episode hasn't come out in a while because life is hard. Things are hard. But there are 30-something episodes out there that you can already listen to. If you haven't listened to Academy H yet, what are you doing? People tell me it's good. I think that's pretty much it. I think that's everything that I have to talk about, at least. So with that in mind, there are social links in the chat if you're not already following us. There's a Discord link in the chat. If you'd like to be a part of the community, it's a great place full of great people. We would love to have you be a part of it. And I think that's going to do it for us. We're going to raid Tales from the Table Studios. So from all of us here at LFTA, say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
Good night. And everybody can close the stream that needs to close the stream.
Yes.
Okay, cool.